Hey guys, I'm Rich from NeoWin, and today we're unboxing this beast in front of me. This is the Lenovo ThinkPad P53. So, the P series. If you're not familiar with it, it's the workstation, the mobile workstation class of ThinkPads. So there's a lot of power here. This particular model has a Core i7-9850H. Yeah, a little bit of power there, right? So the H series, that's the 45-watt mobile processors that Intel makes. This one's going to be hexa-core. If you want octa-core, you got to go up to a Core i9. I'm not even sure if this is offered with the Core i9. Because really with the workstation, if you jack it up, you're going to end up going to a Xeon type of processor. And this is offered with Xeon. Also, on the specs of the model that they sent me is kind of a mixed bag of high-end and kind of mid-range, because it's not the Xeon, but it does have the top-end graphics, which is probably what's more important. It's Quadro RTX 5000, which is a 16 gigabyte GDDR6 GPU. Yeah, I know, it sounds nice. But RTX that's NVIDIA's new technology. It supports real-time ray tracing, deep learning super sampling. I've only actually used it with the GeForce RTX, which is the gaming GPU. So the workstation GPUs I'm pretty excited to try out. Okay, 1 terabyte SSD. It's got 64 gigs of RAM. The display they gave me, though, this is a 15.6 inch model. There's a P73 if you want the 17 inch model. But the display they gave me is 1080p. You can get it with 4K OLED, though. And I did ask them about that when they offered me this machine. I'm like, but do you have the OLED? And they said no. So it is what it is. But there's also, Lenovo refreshed the P series ThinkPads a few months ago. And any of the 15-inch ones that came out are available in 4K OLED. So I'm holding my breath for there's a new P1, and the 17-inch one does not have 4K OLED because the panel doesn't exist, actually. There's no. You'll notice a lot over the last year. There's been a lot of 15-inch 4K OLED PCs, but there have been 0 17-inch 4K OLED PCs. So hopefully the P1, when I get that. The P1 is sort of, it's like the premium X1 lineup, but for workstations, you know. So this is a very heavy box. I can tell you that right now. I'll tell you, it starts at 5.51 pounds. So this is not a thin and light PC. If you want thin and light, go somewhere else. If you want thin and light and powerful, you can get the P1, which is not quite as powerful as this, but it's meant to come in that premium package, and it's meant to balance power and portability a little more. So let's get this open. We've got a piece of plastic, and here's the laptop itself. All right, this is the ThinkPad P53. All right. Oh, trying to hold that with one hand is not really easy. Okay, what else is in the box? This is going to have a shipping label in it. I have a drawer full of Lenovo shipping labels. Because I don't know, if you follow my reviews, I review a lot of Lenovo stuff. So sometimes I'll actually try to ship more than one laptop back in the same box, just so I can have extra shipping labels, so I don't lose them. I don't want to, have too many laptops lying around. It gets a little unmanageable. There's going to be a charger in here, and one of the things in the reviewer's guide is that it's a smaller charger. So here's the cable. All right, and it's a 230-watt charger. Doesn't seem too much smaller than the ones that I've seen before. It does use Lenovo's proprietary USB Type A shaped charger, and we'll keep this one out. Normally, I don't take chargers out of the box just because I have many chargers, and again, something that makes it just easier to ship back. If I don't take the charger out, I don't have to put it back in the box. Okay. A little bit more about the charger, though. It is USB-A shaped, so there's going to be a port probably on the back. Yeah, it's on the back right here, and you will, if you buy this laptop, at some point, I promise you will try to put a USB Type A cable in that port, or you'll try to put the power cable in a USB Type A port. I gotta say, the design is a little bit better. This one has, 2 USB-A 3.1 Gen 1 ports. Okay? They're both on the left side. Yeah, so these two ports over here. And what's cool about that is it's not on the back. Like some of the gaming laptops that they've had, they moved a lot of the ports to the back, and you'd have that power port right next to a USB Type A port, and there's no USB Type A ports on the back with that, so there won't be as much confusion. No USB-C charging, which is fine because as far as I know, most companies can't have a USB-C charger that's over 100 watts. I've only seen one. I've seen Dell do it, but it's still only 130 watts. This is 230 watts. There's a lot of power here. USB-C isn't happening. It's not Lenovo's fault. All right, we also have HDMI. That's HDMI 2.0, which is nice. Okay, back here we have two USB-C ports, and then over here we have another. So what's cool about that is that the two on the back are in fact Thunderbolt 3. And so that means you get that 40 gigabits per second data transfer speeds. On the right side, you have a USB 3.1 Gen 1 Type-C port, which means 5 gigabits per second. And obviously, there's real benefits to the Thunderbolt 3, especially with a workstation class PC like this. You can plug in two 4K monitors into a single port or one 5K monitor, and it's got the graphics power to handle that as well, which is what's important. Because I have a lot of Ultrabooks where they have two Thunderbolt ports on the side, and they say, yeah, you could plug in two 4K monitors on the same port, and it's like, dude, this thing has integrated graphics. It's going to struggle to handle one extra 4K display. So this one has powerful dedicated graphics, so you can hook up a couple external displays, and you don't have to worry about it pushing the pixels, which... I mean, there's over 8 million pixels on a 4K display. It's a lot of pixels to push, so there's a lot of power here to do it. One thing you'll notice is it's got that grayish silver ThinkPad logo, which that shows up on the non-premium ThinkPad. So you have a sort of a glossy black logo that's on the X1 and the P1 series, and that indicates that it's one of those premium ones. There's also an X1 logo that would go over here on the X1. P1 doesn't have anything like that. So really, what's funny though is that premium doesn't mean most powerful, because this is way more powerful than the P1. And the P53 is even more powerful than this. Yeah, we can open the lid here. I'm not even going to power it on because it's basically like what to expect from a machine like this. But we can take a look. It does have it doesn't have an IR camera on top. It promised me an IR camera, but it's optional. So it does have the privacy guard, which is called Think Shutter. And if we just pull this, if I can just do that, so yeah, that'll block the webcam, and you can tell by that little red dot right there. Actually, I take it back. There is an IR camera right up here. My bad on that. I don't know why I was thinking that was the webcam, and that was I don't know. I thought the IR camera would have a bigger module. I feel like I've seen it like that before. Anyway, the bezels are somewhat large, which is fine on a machine like this. You're not really going for immersive content type of thing. Fingerprint sensor down here, which is cool. It's got the Lenovo, pretty standard for a Lenovo, that keyboard that we all love. It's going to be an awesome keyboard, which is great. I love it. Trackpad, this is not going to be clickable, which is a bummer. I just like clickable trackpads. And we do have two sets of physical buttons. I just don't understand the two sets of physical buttons. I just had another PC that's the exact same way with two sets of physical buttons like that. Obviously, the top one is for the track point. Comes on every ThinkPad. Some people love it. Some people hate it. If you don't like it, you can ignore it. Use it to move the cursor around. Fine. And then you would obviously use the buttons with this. So you can drag and drop, give it something like this. It's fine. I guess the bottom buttons are for using with the trackpad if you're just more comfortable like that. But yeah, if you're into that, I prefer clickable buttons or a clickable trackpad. I prefer a clickable trackpad and the physical buttons above it. That's just me. So we have a Dolby Atmos soundbar across the top of the keyboard, which should sound awesome, which is cool because obviously, like you're using this for a lot of workstation stuff that requires that extra power, and especially ray tracing too, which is awesome. Like if you're doing a lot of modeling and stuff like that, you can render stuff quickly. But yeah, so if you're doing video editing though, that audio quality will come in handy. It's pretty awesome. So I mean, that's the P53. It's thick, it's heavy, it's and it's powerful. You know, it's over an inch thick. At its thickest point, it's 1.16 inches, which I assume is back here, and then it's 0.96 inches in the front. So you're not stunning anyone with the design here, but it's functionally done well. There's no touch on the display either. It's functional. It's got an awesome keyboard, which is always important. ThinkPads always have phenomenal keyboards. It's got a solid key press. I've always appreciated good keyboards on powerful machines because sometimes powerful machines don't include good keyboards, especially gaming machines. Or when I say good keyboards, I mean keyboards that are good for typing. They might be meant to be fast and responsive for playing games, but if you're typing articles, they're not that great. Now, I've always appreciated ThinkPads for this very reason, that they all come with this keyboard. Because, you know, on one hand, I might be editing videos and even playing games, because this is powerful enough to play games too if you want to. On the other hand, I might just be typing an article for work. It is big. You know, the one thing that I wish about the smaller bezels, which, like I said, it's not a big deal that this one has big bezels because it's not that kind of thing. But if it had smaller bezels, it would fit into a smaller footprint, and that just kind of makes it easier to put in a bag. It will fit in a bag, unlike if it was 17 inches. Like a lot of bags don't fit 17-inch laptops. It'll fit. It'll be fine. It's but it just makes it a little bit more compact with that 15-inch screen. But hey, for the power, you know, obviously bigger body means a bigger battery, you know, better thermals, so you can't really complain. So this is the Lenovo ThinkPad P53, and I can't wait to dive into it because it's power. And if you watch my videos, you know I love powerful stuff. It's fun to play with. You know, I'm like Tim Taylor on Home Improvement. even if I'm not doing anything useful with that power, I just want it. You know, so yeah, that's the ThinkPad P53, and I'll have a review on that in a few weeks. So stay tuned for that. I'm Rich from NeoWin. Have a great night.